Delta fight song, Delta fight song. I don't know it. Hey everybody, how we doing? My name is Benjamin. I'm from the presentation. Today we're going to be going through the full scope pretty much of OBS as quickly as possible, trying to basically show you guys why you would even be using this over Camtasia. I will let you know right now, I have no experience with Camtasia whatsoever. I understand that it's a paid service. I understand that there's a lot of people already on it within the faculty system. I'm showing you this, and I've showed this to my dad just simply because it's free. It's a free alternative source, and there's a lot of different options that you can do to make your presentation really cool. For instance, we can go ahead and show you exactly what's going on, because check it out. Boom. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So we're going to show you how to do stuff like that today, and let's get right into it. Now, this is where the beauty of OBS comes in, because you can really get a lot of different customization options going. It doesn't have to get this convoluted. It doesn't have to get this complex. You really only need about 3 or 4 different button clicks, and you're ready to record. So what we're going to show you here is exactly what you need to do and click on before you're ready to record, and let's get you started. All right, everybody, here we are in the actual program for OBS. We're going to close out of all the unnecessary windows right here. Perfect and perfect. Okay, so when you start up OBS, it will look very similar to what you see right here on the screen. You will have a blank screen, what you see before you. I have gone ahead and put the camera in place of this whole universe mirror thing going on, because when you activate a capture device of any sort, or when you're screen recording at all, if you're screen recording just your monitor, it'll keep recording itself, and that's what's going on. So we're just going to go ahead and show you how we got here. On the bottom of OBS, we have 5 windows here. We don't really need to worry about these 2 particularly right now. You can configure your audio on yourself, or with your own PC configurations later on. We can go ahead and start off by adding a scene by clicking the plus button right down here to add a scene, and that's going to go ahead and give you a prompt to name the scene, which it'll go ahead and give you one of these blank windows. So I've gone ahead and made a scene called Delta for this demonstration. And I've gone ahead and also added the display capture of my Canon camera that I use as my webcam. So our second window that we're going to be worrying about here is going to be our sources. These are going to be our scene sources, or scene elements that you're going to be using to display to your audience or in your video what exactly is going on. What this could be is text, images, GIF files, separate window applications. Pretty much anything that you could think of that you wanted to display can be displayed through OBS. All you have to do is click the button, and as you can see, we've got a lot of different options here. Even just audio capture you can do if so needed. But we're just going to go ahead and keep it simple. We need our webcam to show up, so that's going to be a video capture device. I've already got it set up and renamed. What you do is go ahead and click enter on the prompt, and then it'll tell you all the different configuration options. And as you can see, right here, you get an actual window pop-up that'll show you exactly which options you want to use for your video. Then you can just click OK, and everything's good. You can add it in and drag it how you please. So here we have the second video of me, and you'll notice that first one has stopped. That's because it can only take 1 instance of the same camera. You can use 2 different cameras at the same time while recording on OBS. You can actually use multiple different cameras while recording at the same time on OBS. It's kind of the beauty of it, and that's kind of why I like its features over Camtasia. I don't think there's a feature for that on Camtasia where you can record simultaneous camera angles at the same time. This would be great for podcasts if you have long video forms, or interviews if you have anything in that sort of aspect for lecture. All right, so if you've ever manipulated PNG files, any sort of image files into a Word document, you're already going to be familiar with the 6-corner arrows, or the 8 corners on each of the rectangles for your image. That's going to be for resizing your image, and depending on which direction orientation you want to do it in. So click, hold, and drag, and you can go ahead and resize your image just like that. Now, if you wanted to get a little bit more funky with it, you could hit Shift, and then you can resize it in any way that you so choose. Don't know why you would, just because it makes the camera that you already have a little bit aspected in a ratio that's it's not configured for. But if you wanted to crop instead, like how I have all of this extra space over here, if we just wanted to have just my face, then we're going to hold Alt. So if we hold Alt and then we click and drag on this side button here, we can see that line now becomes a hash line. I'm trying to show you here if you can even see it in that little sliver, but it becomes a hash line and we can now manipulate it as we so choose. And this is for any side, really. So we can go top, bottom, up, down, left, right, does not matter. But that is a couple of tips and tricks that we can use to help you out, make your videos just stand out a little bit more. All right, and finally, the last window that we have to cover at all is going to be this control window right here. Now, this is where you're going to first configure your video settings. Now, if you remember in the presentation that I gave, I had strongly recommended that you create your output, your video output at 1080p. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. We're going to click on settings right here, and it's going to give you a little window that you're going to see right here. We're going to click on video down below. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th option down. And I'm recording right now, unfortunately, so I can't give you, I can't select the actual options, but you're going to go ahead and go down to output in parentheses, scaled resolution, and you're going to want to select 1920 by 1080p. And this is going to be your native resolution based off of your monitor. I wouldn't go any bigger than that, just because for the most part, scaling it down into what we're going to be uploading, which is 1080p YouTube videos, I don't recommend it, simply because your students might not be able to read the text or even see potentially what you're trying to demonstrate. So I'd be wary on that. Just try and keep it as simple as you can with 1920 by 1080p. That's the standard aspect ratio for most internet videos right now. So now we have that all configured. We are ready to move on to just the stop and start recording. You can also hook this up to, let's say, Twitch, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. If you're into your social media accounts at all, you can do that as well. It just takes an access key, which is available on either of those websites. Look on their help forums or anything like that if you're interested in that. We're only interested, though, in the recording aspect of this system. So just simply hitting stop and start recording is going to be good enough. If you want to, you can actually manipulate the controls on your keyboard to make a actual key bind. So if you press a button per se, it would start and then stop recording. So let's go ahead and set up a keybind just to show you what that would look like. We're going to go down, and I'm going to move the window back over so that you guys can see. We're going to go down to what's called hotkeys. And hotkeys are great. This is, again, how you can do, you can activate and deactivate pretty much every setting that is available to OBS through the use of hotkeys. Now, if you've ever seen the back end of maybe the electronic media broadcasting classes, and you've seen them use those big boards with buttons, this is what this would be used for. However, we don't need to do really much other than this top setting up here, which is start and stop recording here. You can also have a button for pause and unpause recording, which is a great feature as well. This is a great way to, if you're having a lull or if you forget what you were talking about for a second, all you need to do, and I'm just gonna whatever you set your numbers or whatever you set your keypads to, your key binds to, go ahead and click apply and then OK. And we're good to go. But, oh, all right, see, great use example right there. I had just in real time, while I was recording this video, I had forgotten exactly what I was trying to get at, because I'm trying to go through a lot of different settings here. But thankfully, the OBS recording system has a pause system. You wouldn't have noticed that I even took a breath, because I simply clicked and paused right here. And we're right back at it. So all you have to do is click pause, and you don't even need to make a seamless cut in your edit. It just makes editing a little bit easier for you. And now that we're done with recording our video, we're going to go ahead and push this over to Adobe Premiere, one of Delta's available video editing softwares. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Premiere Pro. When you start up Adobe Premiere Pro, this is generally the layout in which you will see when you start it up. I'll be honest, I've been using Adobe Premiere products or Adobe Premiere for the past, I want to say 10 years, back when it was in the CC form. I've never seen this type of, I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm looking at, but you don't have to worry about this. All you really have to worry about is the project name if you need to keep yourself organized, and your project location. That's really all you need to worry about up in here, up in these two windows here. But once you're ready for it, once you've named that and set it to where you want this project to save in, all you have to do is click create, and we can go ahead into a timeline. Now, I've actually already did this for the actual presentation, but we're going to go ahead and just hit replace for that. It'll just go ahead and drag you into a brand new video, or it'll bring you into a brand new, what's called a project here. So we'll wait for that to load, and here we are. Awesome. Okay, so this is what Adobe Premiere Pro looks like when you start up just a brand new project. We don't have any media. We don't have anything in it right now. We are simply looking at everything. We don't need to worry about mainly any of these windows right now, except for this bottom left corner here. You might not have the same configuration as I do. What you're looking for here is on the bottom, or anything that looks like a bin location. It's going to look something like this too. Sometimes this window will show up. There's a couple of different windows that will show up in the same time as well. What we're going to do though is once you find this, is we're going to hit import, and we can also go ahead and hit file import on the top as well. So we're going to go ahead and import media, and we're going to go ahead and find that those sets of videos that I just did record just now, and we're going to go ahead and insert that. And boom, we're going to go ahead and enter our first intro video here, which is me singing our little Delta fight song that I do not know. We're going to go ahead and drag that in, and we will now, once it loads, as you can see, we have a timeline. Awesome. So this is a timeline table. What a timeline table does is, well, basically, if you ever watch a YouTube video, when you scroll through a video, as you can see, it's kind of how you would scrub through a video on your phone or anything like that. The difference here is that you can actually manipulate within this timeline with the different tools that are available up to the left-hand side, and different types of things. You can do a cut, you can do speed, time edit, you can do masks where you can layer in another image or text of any sort. Tons of different options that you can do. And, Delta actually offers courses for Premiere Pro, all of the Adobe products, and a couple of other video editing softwares as well, such as Avid Media. But luckily, there's also a ton of tutorials also on YouTube, and there's a lot of quick advice readily available also on YouTube. This is why we uploaded this on YouTube, so that we could give you guys a couple of links that you could follow down below for a couple of different alternative options that you could research for yourself or look into for yourself, and see if and compare if any of these options might be the right one for you. A lot of these we chose because we felt like they were similar in UI design, so we felt like the interface was a lot either similar or simpler than what we're currently looking at here. In the presentation, a gentleman said very, very well put that this program would be the Ferrari of sorts for editing video. This is as complex as it could get. As I said, you can take several courses for it to learn it all and not even know fully what it is. It's actually so complex now that Adobe doesn't even offer certifications for the full master course anymore. You can get certified for Adobe products, but you can't have a specific set for Premiere Pro without a certain certification test. So, and even then, there's updates every single month that'll add new features, and with AI being implemented now, there are limitless possibilities. So we're just trying to worry about making a simple video. Maybe there's an intro, maybe there's an exit, and cuts in between, just to get out the ums, ahs, and little bits of breaks. Now, like I said before, with the pause feature in OBS, it is so easy to really make those shot cuts yourself. If you have those lulls of information, if you have those ums and ahs, and you really can't think, always have your key on the pause button, and that's where those hotkeys that I was mentioning really come into play. Ultimately, this is a completely independent option for what is already available. I've heard of Yuja, I believe is the program that is available for free online for faculty to record software. Did you know you can also record through screen recording options in PowerPoint? I have no idea actually how to do that, but I am aware that that is a possibility to do. So there are tons of different options for you out there. It takes a little bit of research, and again, we have the links down below. So what we want to do in this video, and we already have our select tool selected, and that's going to be your default option is your select tool. But if per se we wanted to do a cut, this is where hotkeys will come in, and you are actually already given hotkeys. As you can see in parentheses, it says right there, razor tool in parentheses C. So that means all I have to do is press the C button on my keyboard, and I have the cut tool ready to go. And if I click on the timeline, if you can even see it here, let's try and show you. I'll move the timeline away. You can see now from the one video that we now have two separate videos. So we can even manipulate from here. Say we had a break here, like, hey, I have a video to show you right here that I say in the video, or I have an image or something to show you in the video right here. Well, then I can pause here and I can insert my video, and then we're back to the lecture. So it's pretty simple to manipulate videos such as that. This way, if you wanted to keep everything pretty much in one simple place, so you're not posting 9, 10, 11 different document files. This way you can cover multiple different document files in the same program, or rather in the same video lecture. So this really just helps speed things up. It might be a little convoluted at first, but I promise you, once you get used to it, once you learn the keys, and furthermore, get used to the key binds, it will be so much faster than a lot of different options. I've been able to make 20 to 40 minute videos and edit them in a little under 2 hours time. And that's recording as well. So as long as you know the material that you're trying to talk about, then recording should be a breeze and the editing shouldn't be that much longer. So because Premiere Pro is such a complicated program, there are so many different formats that you can use within the program. This is just one iteration that I have here of my different workspaces. So if I click up top here, and this is important because I would like to show you guys how to add some captions. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click on this, and this is all for choosing different formats of your editing style, pretty much. This is if you wanted a different style of workspaces. For instance, starter, you have a lot more simple layout. This is pretty much exactly what you would want if you just wanted as simple as it can get. Not much really more that you need to do when it comes to editing on the timetable. You've got pretty much everything that you need. Video up here, your main video that you want to look at out here. And if you need to add any effects, it's right there, as well as your tools on the side. So that's a pretty good layout. I only have it as I have it for my purposes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the captions and graphics. So we're going to go up to this window now up here. This is where you can manipulate everything within the clip specifically. This is timeline manipulation. This is going to be specific clip manipulation. So from there, what we're going to do is we're actually going to select all of these, or both of them rather, and we're going to create captions from transcript. Okay, so right here we're hit with a window that's a little bit complicated, and all you really have to worry about is speaker labeling. Essentially, since you're just doing mono audio through a microphone, you're just trying to talk to a microphone with your students, or you're probably, if anything, demonstrating a video. You don't need that. So we're just going to go ahead and hit no we don't need separate speakers. That might be the only option you may need to manipulate. And after that, we're going to hit transcribe and create captions. And we're going to wait a few seconds for the powerful now Adobe AI to create these captions. And we'll show you in a second what that looks like. Okay, so the captions have now been loaded, and this is from the beginning of the clip to the end. We have everything completely captioned. So, for the most part, Adobe does a pretty good job, as long as you're articulate, to pretty much dictate every word that you're saying, and it'll capitalize where it needs to, it'll comma where it needs to. It's pretty crazy how easy it is to just go ahead and caption just using the AI tools. It's really one click button and done. So this is actually very nice and very neat. The only thing that it really messed up was the Delta fight song, because again, I don't think that's really anything that they can detect. So we're just gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, so if we double click on any of the text that we want to manipulate, that's all we have to do to manipulate it, select it, and now we can, as you can see on the actual screen of the recording here, or of the video of itself, it's already changing in real time. So I can look and see what I need to change, and now I know I need to change the word. So there you go. And awesome. So yeah, just with a little bit of manipulation, you can go ahead and pretty much have a full, almost 98% complete captions. So that's a very good for in-house, just so you don't have to go anywhere with it, and you don't have to edit anything like adding in text files, which is a whole other tool in of itself, where you can add text, you can add in a separate image, you can add in a ton of different stuff. But for right now, this is as simple as it can get when it comes to adding videos where you need something like captions and you need something maybe like an intro and an outro. Let's go ahead and show you that. So to select everything that we've already edited, we're going to hit A for this track select tool, and we're going to go ahead and hit as far back as we can. And that selects everything that we've got. We're going to go ahead and move that just a little bit forward, just so we can have a little black screen for our intro here, or at least space for our intro. Then we're going to zoom in on our timeline. And as you can see, if we hit play, we have some black space. We have some genuine, just dead air. Nothing's going on the screen, but the timeline is moving. So this was a perfect opportunity for you to hit the text tool and add in some text. Delta OBS tutorial. Awesome. Okay, so here we are with that. We can go ahead and do a ton of different just text options as it is. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my usual tool board here, just so I can get reoriented with everything. Now we can add in some different effects. I'm going to move my guy so that we can see all the effects going on in the effect window. So this is a super awesome tool to be using. Just because it's so drag and drop. It's literally just like that. So if we wanted to, say, fade, then we're going to do something called dip to black. All it really takes is just knowing exactly what these key terms are called. You feel more like you're a part of Hollywood, part of the big leagues when you do some research on the post-production terminology. So now we have a great little fade, and we can even manipulate that. If we want that fade to come in a little bit longer, so it takes a while for that text to show up. See? And as you can see, it's going just like that. It'll fade in with an even more scaled time frame, all by just simply clicking and dragging this specific clip on the timeline. Now, each clip will have a little rectangle, and effects sometimes will have different draggable options on the timeline. Honestly, for the most part, you don't need to worry about what you're seeing right here. You're just trying to stitch a couple of these videos together, and then you're also going to want to learn how are you going to export this into the .mp4 format or is probably going to be required by e-learning. So all we have to do for that is I'm going to move my guy over again one more time, and we're going to go to File, and we're going to go and hit Export, and specifically Export Media. So once we hit that, it'll bring us into a whole different window here. It's going to be the Export window. Now, you don't actually have to do that anymore. They actually added an Export tab right here, but I have personally had problems doing that, unfortunately. So I'm going to recommend doing it my option, but if you have better luck, I am proud of you. So we're going to go ahead and rename the file to Delta Tutorial. And I would go ahead and hit export, but I'm actually not done with this video quite yet. So that would be the end of the tutorial for everybody here. I hope you had a great time learning all the ins and outs of video editing and video presenting in a short amount of time. There's a lot to cover, there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot to study for yourself, so to speak. And these systems are awesome to play around with. And by far, they are not the end all, be all. They are free applications, at least OBS is, and Premiere Pro is offered, I believe, through Delta. I don't exactly know if there's a discount on it, but I honestly have no idea how to access that. I'm sure my father does. So if you have any information or have any questions, further questions, please let us know at either of our Delta emails, which I will list down below in the video description, as well as several other options that you might be able to download for different alternatives to OBS and Premiere Pro. So hope you all had fun. Hope you all had a great time, and hope you all learned a lot. Thank you all for being great parts of the faculty and staff. As a student, we appreciate your efforts and you wanting to learn more and wanting to engage the students. So as a student, I'm more than willing to help everybody out with this. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful day.